So I wanted to go over my rig and some of the gear I was carrying on the Western Renegade bike route. I've made a few changes since I've gotten home, but this is still a pretty accurate representation of what I was using. This is a water pouch that I designed. It holds a 3-liter reservoir in there and it's fully insulated. I used a prototype version on a bike trip, but now that I'm back home I've made a lot of improvements to it. And I've got the Ortlieb handlebar pack in behind there. I custom made my frame pack at home. It's not waterproof, but I wasn't too concerned about that in the desert. I keep my tent in there. I didn't bring these panniers with me on the trip. I brought my own panniers that I made. These panniers I used from Newfoundland to Ontario. They're a lot heavier and they're fully waterproof. And I made this dry bag. It's about 12 liters. I made it so that it would custom fit on my rack. You kind of see there. But I think the next model will have mounts on top so I can put the solar panel on there easy. I just switched over to a single 28 tooth up front. It's still a 10 speed, but this is a 11 to 42 cassette. So I almost have the same range as before. Not quite, but I didn't really need the high end speed anyways. It was mostly using the granny gear. But I had to put a goat link on there to make it work correctly. This is a Garmin Fenix 3 watch. I can load GPS tracks into it to follow. I found I didn't use it that much. I mean, if it was a really confusing section with turns everywhere, then yeah, sure, it's pretty slick. But if I only have to make 1 or 2 turns in a day, I'd just leave it off. And since my whole route was pre-planned, I always knew how much distance that I'd covered, so I didn't really need an odometer. And this backpack was the primary source of all my pain and suffering. If you're wondering why, let's take a look inside. The MSR Dromedary 10 liter weighs about 20 pounds when it's filled up with water. I am keeping chiropractors in business. This is the MSR Freelight tent, and it gets that name because it's both freestanding and light. There you go. It has a nice size vestibule on there. I keep my panniers under there if it's raining. It's not overly spacious. I can sit up inside it, but it's minimalist. This is my air mattress. It's a Thermarest Neo Air X-Lite. It has lots of punctures in it from sleeping in the desert. And you can also tell that I've modified it. I cut off a big chunk of the bottom half there. Now it's basically just a torso pad. And you can see that I'm using the Dromedary as a pillow. It works perfect for that. This is something new that I brought along with me on the Western Renegade. It's an Enlightened Equipment Enigma down quilt. They custom make them to your own specifications, and this one's rated to negative 17 degrees Celsius. So it's a solid 4 season, I'd say. And it's very cozy. I'd say that it stands up to its rating. So it doesn't have a zipper. You kind of just tuck the sides underneath yourself. And the bottom part here is sewed in to keep your feet nice and toasty. So I'll just quickly go over some of the gear that I was carrying. I can't go over every little thing, but I do have a guidebook. It has a complete listing in there. And there's a link to that in the video description. This is my long sleeve down jacket. It's a little too warm to be cycling in, but at the end of the day or in the morning, if you need that extra bit of warmth, or even overnight sometimes. And I have a Gore-Tex shell here. It's not really waterproof anymore, but it's nice to keep that cold wind off you. I brought a pair of hiking shoes and sandals with me. I'm waiting to decide on what to replace them with. I've seen crossovers between the two, so like a sandal that's meshed in. I think that's what I might go for. And then design kind of a booty / gaiter to put over it if I have to go through snow again. This is my tripod. It's a Polaroid, a fabric bucket for doing laundry. This is a Lezyne Micro Floor Drive XL for fat bike tires. And I was riding tubeless, so I didn't really need the pump too much. It was just when I had to alter my PSI between pavement and sand. A headlamp. I like using these a whole lot better than handlebar mounted lights, because you can use this for hiking or reading or whatever. This is a MSR Trail Shot water filter, and it is tedious to use. I've been told that you can put a Sawyer Mini on this hose and just filter as you drink. So that's what I might do next time around. This is a 10,000 mAh battery bank and my solar panel. I call this the ammo box. I sell these on Etsy, but this one is completely beat up. It has been through a lot, but I keep my tools and a lot of other things organized inside here. Alright, so that's about it. If you have any questions or if I missed anything, feel free to ask.